Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. We're going to go through the Australian Kangaroos versus the Kiwis this weekend in the Pacific Championship final. And can the Kiwis actually get it done against the Australian Kangaroos, especially coming off the loss last week, 36-18, where the Kangaroos just dominated them with their class through the middle and through their edges, obviously with the Hammer and Valentine Holmes. Players like Cam Murray, players like Lindsay Collins. Lindsay Collins getting a double in that game was absolutely incredible. Really makes it really hard for me to give an argument to where the Kiwis do have a chance this week, even though they're back at home for this final series, especially when you got PAYNE, HAAS and TINO Malawi coming back into that lineup. Now, if you asked me last week my thoughts on the game where, you know, obviously last week's team list, you had Lindsay Collins and Gerbo starting up there for Australia, and my thoughts on who was going to win that game, I was swaying towards New Zealand in that one, where I honestly thought the New Zealand forward pack of Fisher Harris, LEOTA was going to slow up the ruck as much as they can and really dominate field position to where the New Zealand strike players were able to really create where they need to. Because I honestly think that the New Zealand halves do play a little bit more direct than the Australian halves, in my opinion. Players like Dylan Brown, players like Jerome Hughes, usually for clubland, they play very straight and direct, and they usually use their edge back rower a lot more than what I expected, especially in this game. But they were really unable to in really good field position due to the work of Harry Grant, Lindsay Collins, Cam Murray. Just the playable speed and the work in the ruck from Harry Grant and Benny Hunt was just absolutely incredible. And that's one key thing I really do think the Kiwis need to change going into this game is, you know, Fisher Harris and LEOTA are two premier props in this competition. Possibly, you know, if you're thinking championship-wise, they are the 1-2 best combination in the competition right now, obviously in the NRL competition. And you know that they're the alpha male pack. They don't like losing. They know that they have to get up for this one. And this is the really big storyline in this game. They need to come into this one and really dominate the middle of the ruck. But that is so much harder to say, especially when you got possibly the most talented front row forward we've ever seen in PAYNE, HAAS. And then you could possibly say the same thing for TINO Malawi. If PAYNE, HAAS didn't exist in the game, or Adam Fanua-Blake didn't exist in the game, TINO would be one of the most talented front rowers we've seen in generations as well. So it's really incredible to actually see this matchup. I'm so excited to see this one, because the other storyline that comes into this one as well that I don't know if a lot of people, you know, I think a lot of people have definitely thought about, but PAYNE, HAAS coming off that grand final loss for the Broncos, he's going to be itching at it to get back at Fisher Harris and LEOTA, especially on a big stage for their country. I think that is one of the key storylines in this one. Then you can flip that storyline on its head. Fisher Harris and LEOTA to get back on what the Australian Kangaroos did to him last week without PAYNE, HAAS and TINO. They did it with Gerbo and Lindsay Collins. I thought that was absolutely incredible what the Australian forward back did in that game, but can they do it again in this one with TINO and PAYNE, HAAS against the premier 1-2 punch in the competition right now? Now, other key areas in this game, I kind of did touch on it just a little bit before, but the Kiwi spine really needs to stand up in this one. I know they're at a deficit with the hooker position, in my opinion. You got Amanu Brown in that hooker role rotation with Kieran Foran. Kieran Foran starting at 9 at the moment, plays majority of the minutes at 9. Did a really good job against the Samoan squad, but going up against the Australian squad, he needs to really dictate the ruck there. It's kind of very similar to what Benny Hunt does in the ruck. Both are similar, you know, halfbacks and that playing in hooker. I would say Benny Hunt probably has a little bit more talent in that position, in my opinion. But the one thing about Kieran Foran, he's so tenacious, but he's also so smart to where he needs to start dictating the ruck a little bit more in that Kiwi forward pack. You know, get LEOTA, get when NAS comes on, get those boys on front foot and get the play the ball speed faster and faster. That's really where you want to see the New Zealand Kiwis get over the advantage line and get themselves into key positions. And then the rest of the spine. So I want to see Dylan Brown, I want to see Jerome Hughes play a lot more direct. As I said before, usually in clubland, these are two of the most direct halves in the competition. You have, you know, Jerome Hughes as 7, like with Munster at the Melbourne Storm. Munster is that the guy that makes something out of nothing, steps off his left foot, comes back inside, a couple of dummies. Where Jerome Hughes, usually when you see him play his best football, he's usually off the right foot, direct. He'll use Eli Katoa. I want to see that same sort of look with possibly the best line running edge back rower in the competition with Briton Nikora. I want to see him use that a little bit more. I want to see him go into the line really deep, use Nikora, because Cam Murray right now, absolutely incredible. Possibly playing in the position what he is right now is possibly, it's crazy to say, but he looked like one of the better edge back rowers in the competition, and he's a lock. He's a 13. He's an incredible forward. He's just on a different level. But if you really get him to bite in, because you have to with Nikora when you get that really, like, you know, that deep run from him, it will give a little bit more opportunity for Joey Manu to go one-on-one with the Hammer, which over the weekend, the Hammer was so comfortable going one-on-one with Joey Manu, you know, where, you know, he knew that Murray was always going to chase back on his inside. So, you know, he was showing Manu on the out, and then Manu was just trying to make his indecision whether he was going to pump and throw the floater flick pass or whatever Manu was going to do. And Hammer was just controlling him so well. But if you get that Nakora run so deep, so hard, and really get Murray to bite all the way in, you give Manu so much more time to come off his right foot to really use those opportunities. Because I felt like in that game, that last game, the Hammer didn't have too many moments to where he was struggling on his inside. He was always pushing Manu back on the outside. And usually when Manu was playing on the inside, it was more so off the back of coming into the ruck. It wasn't really going off the back of set plays. So I feel like, you know, and it's the same thing with Dylan Brown on the other side. You have Isaiah Papali'i that had an amazing year for the Eels a couple of years back where he was such a damaging ball runner as well. He runs amazing lines. And even for the Tigers over this year, he's played amazing line running this year. I honestly do think that there's a place for those boys to start like playing off the ruck, direct running, and then get the quick play to ball speed up and use Foz around the ruck, sort of like Benny Hunt does. I don't think Foz has the same skill set as Benny Hunt to where, you know, Benny Hunt can get out, he can throw a dummy and go and all that. But Foz is smart. And if you can get quick play to ball speed, you get those boys on the front foot. You got Fisher Harris and Leota. Then you got Nas coming off the bench. You got Griffin Neem, who I rate really highly. Leo Thompson. Those boys can get a really big roll on. And I do think that this is the real key part of the game that the Kiwis need to add on top of. Because I'll go back to, if you asked me last week, the key area on the Kiwis to where the Kiwis have a better squad or they get better part of the squad than the Kangaroos, I would have said the back line last week. But just seeing the back line of the Australian Kangaroos last week as well with the Hammer and with Valentine Holmes, I'm really conflicted to where this Kiwi squad has a chance to really get over the top of the Australian Kangaroos other than playing front foot footy and using Britton Nakora properly and Isaiah Papali'i. There's obviously other questions out there as well. Would you rather have Joey Manu or Chance Nickel-Coxtag at fullback? And I would honestly still keep Chance Nickel-Coxtag at fullback because you obviously got a top-fledged, I believe Chance is in the top 5 to 10 at the moment of fullbacks in the competition. And then Joey Manu is the best center in the competition right now when he plays center. I would keep that combination the way it is now. Chance has got some ball playing in him. You got, you know, Matty Tomoko on the other side as well. That backline is absolutely incredible, but the only way that backline gets in tune with things is when the boys on the inside do a lot of good work to end up causing the holes back on the inside. So Katoni Staggs and stuff like that. If you get Liam Martin to bite in on Isaiah Papali'i, get Katoni Staggs on an island by himself, he's got to kind of worry about inside, outside of Tomoko. If he's going to come off his left foot, go inside, or if he goes right outside. That's usually the way things go. So I want to see a little bit more direct running, obviously, from Isaiah Papali'i, Britton Nakora, Dylan Brown, and Jerome Hughes to use them a little bit more. And it should open up their backline because I honestly think that's the biggest strength of the Kiwi squad right now as well. They got an amazing forward back, this and that. Their spine's awesome. But the one thing I like about this Kiwi squad, their backline is absolutely incredible in my opinion. So obviously saying all this, the Australian squad is incredible top to bottom, and I really do struggle to see the Kiwis getting over top of Australia in this one. But there's always a chance in football, especially in your home ground, your home country. I'm really, really excited for this game. Obviously, you know, as I said before, the storyline of Fisher Harris and Leota versus PAYNE HAAS is incredible, especially when you add Tino, Fa'asul Malaawi in there. You know, you got, you know, PAYNE HAAS trying to rewrite the wrongs of the grand final, but then you got Fisher Harris and Leota trying to rewrite the wrongs of last week. Add on top of Joseph Tapine and all that. Like, man, this game is going to be absolutely incredible. Comment down below your thoughts on this game, please, guys. And also, make sure you comment down below your thoughts on my video right now. Changed a couple of things up, so hopefully you guys do enjoy that. You see a bit more of me in frame and that. And, yeah, you know, so sorry for all the late videos and stuff. I haven't been making too many videos. I've been doing all TikToks and shorts at the moment. I've been really focusing on that because a lot of things personally going on with me in my life right now. So I haven't had too much time to sit down and make a long-form video, but hopefully you guys do enjoy, and hopefully I can do a really cool review video next week on this game and that. So thank you so much, guys. Appreciate every single one of you. Peace out.